A fortress that is not maintained protects no one. It becomes a prison. In the Edo period, generals understood that the greatest threat rarely came from the outside. It came from within, from walls no one inspected, from gates no one guarded, from discipline that was abandoned, one day at a time. Before we continue, subscribe to Edo's Scripts. This is episode 2 of The Siege, and today your walls will be tested. In the previous episode, we introduced the 3 principles of the siege: Kenji, Toride, Ma. If you haven't watched it yet, pause now and watch. What follows will not carry its full weight without that foundation. For those returning, welcome back. Today we don't just talk about Toride, we go inside it. Toride is not discipline. Discipline is the effort of someone who lacks structure. Toride is architecture, a fortress with 4 specific walls, each with an identifiable modern enemy, and a corresponding Edo practice. And at the end of each wall, you will receive a mission, a concrete action for today. Because in the siege, doctrine without action is just sophisticated entertainment. The first wall is time, and it is the most relentlessly attacked of all. In the Edo period, the merchants of Aichi did not manage their time. They defended it. The distinction is everything. The man who manages time negotiates with the enemy. The man who defends time never opens the gate. The modern enemy of this wall has a name: manufactured urgency. Your boss messaging at 11 at night is not asking for a response. He is testing whether you still belong. To him, outside contracted hours, the notification pulsing at 3 in the afternoon is not information. It is a calculated invasion. The man who lets other people's urgency define the rhythm of his day does not own a day. He owns a series of interruptions with gaps between them. In the siege, the defense of time begins with what Eto strategists called Jika no Toride, the fortress of time. Protected blocks of the day that cannot be breached by any external demand. Not productivity suggestions. Walls with guardians. Nobunaga did not win at Okazama because he reacted faster than the enemy. He won because he waited for the precise moment. And to wait for the precise moment, he first needed absolute ownership of his own time. The man who does not own his time cannot choose when to strike. First mission. Today, identify the 3 moments in your day when you surrender control of your time to external demands, not to fix them yet, just to name them with precision. The strategist does not attack what he cannot see. First, E-maps. Write those 3 moments in the comments. This is not reflection. It is the beginning of your first wall inspection. The second wall is attention, and this one is the most silently demolished. There is a difference between being present and being available. The modern world deliberately conflates them, because a man who is always available is never truly present, and a man who is never truly present never produces anything of real depth. The engineers behind the world's largest digital platforms spent years studying neuroscience to achieve one outcome, making it neurologically uncomfortable for you to stop scrolling. Infinite scroll was not built to inform you. It was built to make stopping feel wrong. At the level of the nervous system, this is not technology, it is cognitive invasion engineering. In the Edo period, martial arts masters practiced zanshin, residual awareness, the consciousness that remains active and calibrated even after the movement ends. Not tension, deliberate presence. Applied to the modern world, attention is not divided, it is hijacked. Research from the University of California shows that each interruption during deep work costs an average of 23 minutes of cognitive reconstruction. That means every time you open your phone in the middle of something important, you pay 23 minutes just to return to the same level of focus. The enemy of this wall is not the phone. The phone is just the weapon. The real enemy is the belief that being connected is the same as being present. Second mission. In the next 24 hours, choose a 90-minute block where your phone stays in another room. Not on silent. In another room. Notice the discomfort that surfaces. In the first 15 minutes, don't fight it, just observe it. That discomfort has a name. It is the precise size of the territory. You surrendered without realizing it. When the block ends, write one word in the comments to describe how it felt. One word, not a paragraph. The third wall is finances. And this one is the most loaded with shame and with deception. The modern system did something surgically intelligent with money. It turned your financial relationship into an extension of your identity. You are not someone who has debt. You are someone who didn't measure up. You are not someone who spends beyond what is needed. You are someone who deserves to reward yourself after so much effort. Notice what happened here. The system did not just create the financial problem, it created the narrative that prevents you from seeing the problem as a problem. Because a man who believes his debt is proof of his worth will never question the debt. In the Edo period, the great merchants of Osaka and Aichi operated on a principle called bunki, the strategic separation between what strengthens the domain and what satisfies an appetite created from the outside in. This was not moral virtue, it was competitive advantage. The merchant who could not make that distinction coldly was the first to lose ground when crises arrived. And in the Edo period, crises arrived without warning. Today, the modern equivalent of bunki is not a budget spreadsheet. It is a question you ask before every significant financial decision. Does this expand my domain? Or does it satisfy an appetite the system created in me? Think about the last significant purchase you made that wasn't essential. Was it your decision, or was it a response to pressure you didn't even notice receiving? The car slightly above what you needed because the neighbors upgraded theirs. The trip that went on the card because everyone was posting their vacation. The subscription you barely use but costs less than a coffee per day, and so you never cancelled it. Each of those expenses in isolation seems irrelevant, added together over a year. They are the crack the system was waiting to find in your third wall. Third mission. Today, list the 3 largest recurring expenses in your month that are not essential to your survival or to the growth of your domain. Don't cancel anything yet, just list them. And next to each one, answer with brutal honesty. Does this serve my domain, or does it serve an appetite someone built into me? The inspection of this wall demands honesty before action. The warrior who lies to himself about the state of his defenses is not defending. He is comforting himself with an illusion. The fourth wall is mental clarity, and this one is the most neglected, because it is the most invisible. You notice when your time is being invaded. You feel when your attention is hijacked. You can calculate when your finances are compromised, but mental clarity deteriorates differently. It doesn't disappear all at once. It clouds slowly, imperceptibly, until one day you make an important decision and only realize afterward that you weren't seeing the terrain clearly when you made it. The enemy of this wall doesn't have a single face. It presents itself differently depending on your specific weakness. For some, it is information overload that never becomes real knowledge. You consume 10 articles a day but cannot form a genuine opinion on any of them, because the next one arrives before you process the previous one. For others, it is other people's opinions occupying the space that should belong to your own judgment. You spend so long consulting what others think that you forgot what it feels like to trust what you think. And for most, it is constant comparison that distorts your perception of what is real. You no longer know whether you want what you want, or whether you want what you saw someone else want. In the Edo period, Zen practitioners in the monasteries of Kyoto cultivated mushin, the mind without obstruction. Not the empty mind, as many mistakenly interpret it, the mind without attachment to noise. A lake does not reflect clearly because it moves. It reflects clearly because it has learned to be still. The man with mental clarity is not the one with all the answers. He is the one who knows which questions deserve his energy and which ones were placed there to fragment him. In the current world, mental clarity is not achieved with more information. It is achieved with deliberate curation, with the active and conscious choice of what enters your mind, how it enters, and how long it stays. You consume content like someone drinking from a river without banks. The strategist builds his own aqueduct. He decides where the water comes from, which path it takes, and where it stops. Fourth and final mission for today. For 30 minutes before you sleep tonight, just silence, or a notebook where you write whatever is occupying your mind without filter, without form, without judgment. It doesn't need to be coherent. It doesn't need to make sense. Just empty it. This is not meditation. It is maintenance of your fourth wall. And walls that are not maintained, you already know what they become. 4 walls, 4 enemies, 4 missions. But there is something that connects all of them, and the siege only reveals it to those who made it this far. The 4 walls of Toride are not items on a list. They are a living system. And systems have a property that isolated structures never will. When one gives way, the others weaken in cascade. The man who loses control of his time loses his attention next. Without attention, financial decisions become impulsive. With finances compromised, mental noise increases. And with mental clarity clouded, he can no longer see that his walls are falling. It is a cycle of silent collapse, and the modern system not only knows this, it was architected around it. That is why it doesn't attack one wall at a time. It attacks all 4 simultaneously, with different urgencies arriving at different moments, so that you never have enough energy and clarity to defend all 4 at once. The siege's answer to this is not more willpower. It is architecture. When all 4 walls are in order, you don't need to defend each one constantly. They defend each other. Protected time creates space for deep attention. Deep attention improves the quality of financial decisions. Sound finances reduce mental noise, and mental clarity allows you to see when any of the other 3 is being threatened, before the damage is done. This is Toride complete, not a list of good habits, an architecture of sovereignty. Nobunaga did not enter the field at Okazama because he was motivated. He entered because his walls were in order, because he knew the real state of each defense before risking any advance. The question the siege asks you now is not, "Are you ready to attack?" The question is, do you know the real state of your walls today? Today you received 4 missions. These are not tasks to complete and forget. They are the beginning of an inspection that will last the rest of your life. Because a fortress is not built all at once, it is built one wall at a time, one day at a time. If you executed all 4 missions today, you are already ahead of 90% of the people who watched this video. Not because you are smarter or more disciplined, because you acted while most people just watched. Build on stone, serve your family with strategy, reclaim what is yours. That is your duty. This was episode 2 of The Siege. In the next manuscript, we enter the principle of Kenji, awareness of the terrain. How the great strategists of Edo developed the ability to read what others could not see, and how you can do the same on the battlefield of the 21st century. Subscribe to Edo Script, and write in the comments which of the 4 walls is most compromised in your life today. An honest answer, not a polished one. I am Kenji. The way continues. I will see you. Sayonara.